Abner Long Zwillman, July 27, 1904, February 27, 1959, was an American mob boss who rose to power in the criminal underworld primarily in North Jersey. He was a longtime friend and associate of mobsters Lucky Luciano and Meyer Lansky, who he sat on the commission mafia with. Zwillman's criminal organization was a part of the National Crime Syndicate and mainly operated throughout the 1920s-1950s with its peak in the late 1930s. Biography: It is believed that Zwillman was born on July 27, 1904, in Newark, New Jersey. He was one of 7 children born to Reuben and Anna Slavinsky Zwillman, Russian Jewish immigrants. He was forced to quit school to support his family after his father's death in 1918. Zwillman first began working at a Prince Street cafe, the headquarters of a local alderman in Newark's 3rd Ward. However, in need of more money, Zwillman was eventually forced to quit, later selling fruits and vegetables in his neighborhood with a rented horse and wagon. Zwillman was unable to compete with the cheaper Prince Street pushcarts, however, so he moved to the more upper-class neighborhood of Clinton Hill, where he began selling lottery tickets to local housewives. He observed that much more money was made selling lottery tickets than produce, so he concentrated on selling lottery tickets through local merchants. By 1920, Zwillman controlled the bulk of the numbers racket with the help of hired muscle. Prohibition: At the start of Prohibition, Zwillman began smuggling whiskey into New Jersey through Canada, using several World War I armored trucks. Zwillman later joined a syndicate headed by Joseph Reinfeld to smuggle liquor from Canada using ships. They were reputed to have controlled 40% of liquor smuggling. Zwillman used this revenue to greatly expand his operations in illegal gambling, prostitution, and labor racketeering, as well as legitimate businesses, including several prominent nightclubs and restaurants. In 1929, he was sent to prison for 6 months, for assaulting an associate. It was the only crime for which he was ever convicted. Zwillman dated actress Jean Harlow at one time and got her a 2-picture deal at Columbia Pictures by giving a huge cash loan to studio head Harry Cohen. Zwillman also bought Harlow a jeweled bracelet and a red Cadillac. He referred to her in derogatory terms to other mobsters in secret surveillance recordings. He married Mary to Groot Mendel Steinbach in 1939. She was the only daughter of Eugene Mendels, whose father, Emanuel S. Mendels, was a founder of the American Stock Exchange, then known as the Curb Exchange. The Zwillmans had a daughter, Lynn Catherine Zwillman, born c. 1944. Mary Zwillman had a son from previous marriage, who became Abner Zwillman's stepson. The Al Capone of New Jersey. After Dutch Schultz's murder in 1935, Zwillman took over those of Schultz's criminal operations that were in New Jersey. The press began calling Zwillman the Al Capone of New Jersey. However, Zwillman often sought to legitimize his image, offering a reward for the return of the Lindbergh baby in 1932, and contributed to charities, including $250,000 to a Newark slum clearing project. Shortly after taking over Schultz's operations, Zwillman became involved in local politics, eventually controlling the majority of local politicians in Newark for over 20 years. During the 1940s, Zwillman, along with longtime associate Willie Moretti, dominated gambling operations in New Jersey, in particular the Marine Room inside Zwillman's Riviera nightclub, the Palisades. In 1951, Zwillman's activities were a major focus by the Kefauver Committee on Organized Crime. While Zwillman acknowledged that he was a bootlegger during Prohibition, he insisted that his subsequent businesses were legitimate. Zwillman was also close to many celebrities, including Joe DiMaggio. When Zwillman was being investigated by the Kefauver Committee along with other alleged outfit members, he reportedly planted 3 trunks full of money with DiMaggio to hide it from the IRS. It was not returned after Zwillman's death. In 1956, Zwillman was tried for income tax evasion. The jury became deadlocked and the charges were dismissed. Several associates of Zwillman were subsequently arrested and charged with bribing two of the jurors. Death during the 1959 McClellan Senate Committee hearings on organized crime, Zwillman was issued a subpoena to testify before the committee. Zwillman was found hanged in his West Orange, New Jersey, residence on February 27, 1959, shortly before he was to appear. In accordance with Jewish custom, he was buried the same day, after a funeral attended by 1,850, including celebrities and his 80-year-old mother. Zwillman's death was ruled a suicide, attributed to intractable income tax and health problems. His stepson, John Steinbach, said that he was also depressed about Senate investigations into jukebox racketeering and the jury tampering investigation, related to a previous failed attempt to prosecute him. However, police found bruises on Zwillman's wrists, supporting the theory that Zwillman had been tied up before being hanged. It is often speculated that Vito Genovese had ordered Zwillman killed. Others have alleged that Meyer Lansky, suspecting that the New Jersey gangster had agreed to become a government informant, gave permission for the Italian mafia to take action against Zwillman. The theory that he was hanged was also supported by deported mobster Charles "Lucky" Luciano, who allegedly told journalist Martin Gosch in Italy that the suicide theory was nonsense, and that before hanging him, Zwillman's killers had trussed him up like a pig. Martin Gosch's biography, which he co-authored with Richard Hammer of Lucky Luciano, is somewhat controversial and considered fictional by many mob experts. However, the authors have claimed that the contents are entirely based on interviews with Luciano, who died before the book was published. His widow remarried 3 years later, to sports figure Harry Wismer. His daughter Lynn married Winslow G. Tuttle in 1968. References. Further reading: Stewart's Mark A. Gangster, The True Story of the Man Who Invented Crime. W. H. Allen and Company. plc, 1985. Al-Mog, Oz, Kosher Nostra Judy's J. Gangster in America, 1890-1980, Judy's Chen Museum der Stadt Wien, 2003, Text aus Al-Mog, Eric Metz, ISBN 3-901398-33-3. External links: FBI file on Abner Zwillman, J. Grit, Internet Index of Tough Jews, Abner Long Zwillman.